In the year 2000, a man dropped from 10,000 feet under a canopy made of wood and heavy canvas. This wasn't a modern aerodynamic design. It was a rigid, pyramid-shaped structure that many experts predicted would simply tumble through the air. Instead, the descent was stable. The man landed safely, proving that the geometry of the device was capable of managing the physics of terminal velocity. The specifications for this parachute didn't originate in a modern laboratory. They were found in the sketchbooks of a man who died 500 years ago. This suggests that our history of invention is missing a significant chapter, that the mechanical logic we associate with the modern age was actually documented centuries earlier. We have to reconcile how an artist in the 1400s was able to accurately calculate the physics required for technologies that would not physically exist for half a millennium. In 1994, Microsoft founder Bill Gates purchased a 500-year-old diary for over $30 million. It remains one of the most expensive books ever sold. Known as the Codex Leicester, it is a technical record of fluid dynamics and astronomy, written in a difficult, mirror-image cursive that suggests the author was protecting the information within. We usually mark the start of powered flight with the Wright brothers in 1903. We trace the history of armored, mechanized warfare back to the introduction of the first tanks in 1916, and we rely on clinical X-ray imaging to see the internal mechanical structures of the human body. But the documents in Leonardo da Vinci's journals indicate that he had already worked through the mechanics of all three before the printing press was even widely used. Compare da Vinci's sketches of the human arm to a modern medical scan. The anatomical precision is identical. He wasn't drawing what he saw on the surface. To get this data, he became a grave robber, taking corpses to his studio to strip away the skin. He treated the body as a machine made of pulleys and levers. He was trying to find the mathematical rules that governed how a joint rotates or how a muscle contracts. In a time when most people believed the body was moved by a vital spirit, he performed over 30 dissections to prove it was actually moved by mechanical force. His anatomical accuracy came from a refusal to rely on tradition. He replaced religious mystery with direct, often brutal, physical evidence. Da Vinci also acted as a military consultant. He wrote letters to the rulers of Italian city-states, offering them weapons that didn't resemble anything used in Renaissance warfare. He designed a 33-barreled organ gun, a prototype for rapid-fire artillery designed to eliminate the time lost between reloading traditional cannons. He drew a plan for a tortoise-shaped vehicle armored with wooden plates. It used a complex internal crank-driven system that allowed a crew to move the vehicle while firing light cannons in a full circle. The mechanics of these designs were so advanced that modern engineers have used them to understand the evolution of the heavy armor we use today. He was designing a form of mechanized combat that his world didn't have the metallurgical or industrial capacity to actually build. In 1502, he created a top-down map of the city of Imola. It is so mathematically precise that it looks like a modern satellite image, yet he had no way of seeing the city from above. He applied that same observational power to birds, attempting to solve the problem of lift centuries before the first wind tunnel. He would release birds from cages and sketch their wing micromovements frame by frame, trying to understand how air pressure interacts with a flexing wing. This led him to the aerial screw, a design that anticipated the mechanical principles of the helicopter by calculating how a revolving blade could push against the air. He was able to simulate the results of modern high-speed cameras and aerial drones using nothing but concentrated mental focus. The common thread in all these breakthroughs was his refusal to see different fields as separate. To Da Vinci, art was a science, and science was an art. He used the branching patterns of trees to solve problems in hydraulic engineering and used the structure of human veins to understand the flow of rivers through a city. He also managed his own cognitive load. He would take long, deliberate breaks from his most complex projects, believing that the mind continues to process data in the background, even when you aren't looking at the problem. He kept the Mona Lisa in his possession for 14 years, constantly updating the painting as he made discoveries in the physics of light and the anatomy of the human face. His intelligence wasn't a mysterious gift. It was a rigorous practice of finding the structural similarities between things that most people see as unrelated. Da Vinci's legacy is a demonstration of what happens when curiosity is applied with total discipline. He was a polymath who consciously fought against the mental laziness of accepting things as they appear. Today, we often divide our world into creative or technical categories, acting as if the arts and sciences are two different languages. The real lesson he left behind is that the most powerful tool we have is the simple, practical willingness to ask why and how until a real answer is found. The anomaly isn't that one man lived in the future 500 years ago. The mystery is why we, with all our modern tools, are failing to see the patterns that were right in front of us all along.